In this video, I'll show a demo of how you can use the Model Context Protocol, or MCP, to access the file system on a Fedora Linux system. Everything in this environment is running locally, and I'm using a combination of open source software and the open source Qwen 2.5 coder LLM model. I'll show the demo, and then I'll walk through the various components and how they were configured. I'm using the open source Fluho chat interface running locally for this demo. I'll start by entering a query that I'd like to see a file that will show what version of Fedora this system is running. Fluho will connect to my Ollama server hosting the Qwen 2.5 coder LLM model, and then use an MCP server that allows the LLM model to access the file system. If I scroll up here, we can take a look at the MCP tool calls. You can see that it first read the etc Fedora release file, and then read the etc OS release file. And based on the contents of these files, it correctly identified that this is a Fedora 41 workstation. Next, I'll ask that within the temp directory, a new app directory is created containing 3 files named file 1 through 3. Before I run that, I'll switch over to the terminal here and show that that temp app directory does not currently exist. I'll go ahead and submit that query, which will make a series of MCP calls to create the directory and the 3 new files, which will take several seconds here. After that's done, we can scroll up and see that it ended up making a number of MCP calls. Let's go over to the terminal and validate that the directory and files were created. And as you can see, everything was correctly created per my instructions. Next, I'll provide some more details on how this was set up. As I mentioned, I'm using the open source Fluho chat interface running locally on this system. I'll go over to the Models tab and show the configuration for the model I'm using. I'm using the open source Qwen 2.5 coder 32 billion parameter model served by Ollama locally here in my environment. I have the temperature for this model set at 0.2. Next, I'll go to the MCP tab and show the configuration for the file system MCP. One nice feature of the file system MCP is that you can specify the directories that the MCP should have access to. And in my environment, I had granted it access to the /temp and /etc directories. If you'd like to have more info on the file system MCP, you can check out the README for it over on GitHub. It's one of the reference MCP servers available within the Model Context Protocol GitHub project. The README explains that this MCP can read files, write files, edit files, create directories, list directories, move files, and get file info. All right, let's go back over to the Flows tab, and you can see that I have a file system flow defined. These flows are easy to create. You just drag out the nodes and do some basic config and connect them up. I have a start node connected to the Ollama Qwen 2.5 node connected to that file system MCP. Let's switch over to the chat tab. From here, all you have to do is select the file system flow and then type in a query. Thanks for watching and have a great day.